I like that title.
Oh, thank you
Good
so much.
pass.
It's very
Heave,
easy, very easy.
heave or leave.
Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch Our Pass, and I'm talking to Cheech Marin, who plays Julio in Champions, which comes to theaters on March 10th, 2023. I'm going to talk to him right now, and while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll shout a lot. Thank you. Exactly. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm joined by someone who needs no introduction, Mr. Cheech Marin, who has done everything, been everything, and most recently he is playing Julio in Champions, which comes to theaters on March 10th, 2023. It is a sports comedy drama with a heart of gold, and a lot of that heart comes from Cheech's character Julio. So thanks so much for joining me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Of course. So, I'm always curious. How did you get involved in this project? How did this come across your desk? I mean, the movie was fun, but what kind of drew you to it, and how did you get involved?
Well, I got for doing this role, I got 3 months knocked out off of my court mandated community service. So it
Comes
was a
full circle. I
win-win for
love
everybody.
it.
No, it's just I got this word that they were going to make this movie, and I think they had already started making movie. And I don't know if they had cast Julio yet, and Woody and I had worked together before. We did a play together in San Francisco, and I was always a fan of the Farrelly Brothers movies. So when this opportunity came up, I go, "Wow, this is going to be great! I get to work with Bobby Farrelly and Woody, and so let's see what happens." And so I came in wide-eyed and was already thinking of ideas as soon as I knew I was going to do the movie.
I love it. I love it. And what I love most is like when I saw you in this film, I was like, okay, so he's gonna be kind of comedic, he's gonna be funny, but actually, like your character kind of introduces a lot of the heart in this film. Like the scene where you're describing all the athletes and their outside interests, like that really kind of is the first time it hits you. And so I love that you took on like maybe a more, I don't know, serious caring role in this film than I think
Yeah,
some of the
well,
other ones
thank
I've
you. I
seen you.
mean, it was written by, it's a remake of another film, of Spanish film, but Bobby put his touch on it and in the screenplay, and and it was good. It was like we did that scene, I think, a couple times, because the first time it was at the end of the day, and it was had to shoot semi outside. It was freezing there, and so but then we came back and did it again where I could actually take my time and not worry about freezing. But it was a wonderful scene because you got to see how what full lives all of these players had, and it kind of hopefully changed opinions about previously held opinions about what they could or couldn't do.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think the message in this film is like, people are not just, what they look on the outside. There's a lot of, interests that people have, a lot of skills people have that maybe you don't see. And that was definitely something that came through.
They
And I'm
were,
sure it sounded better on the second take when your teeth weren't chattering, when you're trying to like make
yeah,
this
I
heartfelt, warm
hope it
moment.
was. It was like, people cannot be defined just by their disabilities, by their abilities. You can find that as well.
Yeah. And so you mentioned you'd worked with Woody before. I know you also worked with Ernie, I believe, in
Yeah.
another context. So, it seems like you're reuniting with a lot of people, but what was the environment like on set? What was it like working with this cast? It seems like it must have been a lot of fun.
It was great. I mean, it was great. Woody and I had no issues because we knew each other before. We wanted to work together, and the kids were great. The young men were, I didn't have any scenes. Well, I had scenes at the end with Kaitlin Olson, and she was great too because we found out each other's life story during the process when the cameras weren't rolling. And you can find out a lot about a person if you ask the right questions. And so that was and Ernie Hudson and I had worked together before. We had done a TV show together, a pilot, and as well as Ghostbusters. It was wonderful working with him. I just saw him the other day. We watched the movie together. It was the question was about can these young actors do it, and they weren't actors. They weren't professional actors. I think one of them maybe was in a McDonald's commercial once, but the rest of them had no on-camera experience. So like,
And yeah, no, and I love that about this film. Like, I love the authenticity that seems to be kind of a trend in Hollywood, but is definitely kind of shown in this film, where you have young actors who like are living the parts that they're playing. It was
yeah,
kind of really nice to see them in the in the movie and kind of out there, putting themselves out there and just doing such a great job.
Yeah, I found that to really gain trust with them, I used a sense of humor. I would joke with them about the like if they messed up, because people don't talk to them like that. They're afraid, or they're going to say. But this pick, they may have one disability that doesn't mean they have disabilities in every area. They have great senses of humor, and they like it when you joke, because they gain trust in you, and during that process, and that's very important for this film.
For
And
sure. And I love that, like in the film, Woody is their coach, but it sounds like maybe on the set, you and probably Woody as well were kind of like acting coaches for them, like helping them to,
yeah,
get through the roles and be more natural.
whenever they need it, you see they got one kids will get stuck on one piece of business that he can't perform, and you find out the key to make it, how for them to do it. It was, yeah, that was interesting to do, and then see them perform, because they took direction really well.
Sure. It sounds like you're very, comfortable working with them. Do you have any experience with disabled persons, like in charities that you do, or just, personal experiences?
Not no really that I can recall. It was mostly in this film.
Oh,
That
perfect. I mean, this is a great introduction, right?
Yeah,
This is a
really,
great
I don't know
cast
if
and a
it
great
gets
subject.
better. This was good.
And how much time did you actually get to spend on set? Did it kind of like end up being like it sounds like it was kind of a family environment, but I imagine, for you, you probably did your scenes quickly and then came out. How much time were you able to actually spend with everyone?
We were just basically there in the gym all day, when we were in various gyms, and it was better than being in a swimming pool all day. Let me tell you, fully clothed. But we were in the gym all day, and it was we're shooting in Winnipeg in December, so you didn't want to go outside a lot.
Yeah,
It
definitely the
was
gym sounds better.
freezing there, man. Like, so we spent, as much time in the gym as we possibly could, and hung out. And then when we were hanging out, we'd shoot baskets and, play horse, or, anything just to relax. And the parents were all there. All the parents of all these actors were there. And so I got to know them, and through them, their children.
Exactly. Sounds like a really fun set. Sounds like a really fun environment. I know we have limited time, so I'd like to switch to, I call it the lightning round. It's just lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your experiences map to things on the film. You can feel free not to answer any of them. I won't be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable.
Okay.
First question sounds like, you're playing basketball. How are you at basketball?
I'm good. I was in the day when they had peach baskets. No, no, I played basketball all the time. I played all through high school, and I played. I was the gym rat. All the weekends were spent at the gym, playing ball. So I was very familiar with basketball.
Perfect. And have you ever coached a sport?
Uh, Basketball. I coached my son's team when he was in that age for a little while, and as baseball coaches as well. Yeah, I like coaching.
Perfect. A lot of the friends, the athletes in this film had like hidden interests, or at least interests that weren't really apparent. Do you have any sort of like hidden interest or talent?
Me?
I know you're kind of an open book, but
Yeah, hidden talents. No, I try to get all my talents out there. I guess I'm a Chicano, have to have three jobs at all times. Right? So
perfect.
I'm always auditioning. Yeah. Hey, oh
uh,
yeah, play violin. Oh yeah, I played violin all my life. Yeah.
I mean, and you just pick it up and you do it, right? That's what you do.
Yeah.
This movie had people traveling pretty far for games. What's the furthest you've ever traveled for a game to either view or play?
For games?
Yeah, for a game.
Oh, phew. Maybe at inside California, but when the regionals came along, we traveled, but mostly in the state in the California
I mean,
for a game.
it's a big state. Those can be long trips.
It's true.
And the last question: one person performed Shakespeare. Have you ever performed Shakespeare?
I'm trying to think. uh, no, I don't believe I have performed Shakespeare. Not that I couldn't.
Oh no,
I'd be
yeah, no, I know
willing to
you could.
try, but I don't know.
That's for the next one.
Right.
And so the movie's out on March 10th, 2023. You're out promoting it, but I'm sure you have some other things on the fire. So after people see you in Champions, what can they look for next from you?
I made a picture called another sports movie called The Long Game. It's about Chicano kids playing golf in the mid-50s, and they win the state championship. But they're not allowed to play on the course. It's the only course in town, which their caddy is at. So it's one of those kind of inspirational stories. It's really good, and I play this kind of World War I vet who comes back from the war shell shocked, and interesting costume he has. He makes this cage around himself, so because he picks up balls on the range, and he doesn't want to get hit by this guy. Interesting character, but he wears this cage all the time.
That sounds awesome. I love this like sports theme you're going for. So check out Cheech Marin as Julio in Champions on March 10th, 2023, and look for his next inspirational sports movie after. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
That was Cheech Marin, who plays Julio in Champions, which is coming to theaters on March 10th, 2023. It is a comedy sports drama with a heart of gold, and a lot of that heart is actually because of Cheech's character, Julio. So definitely check out his performance, and thanks so much for watching. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.